Morning and welcome to Gardening 365. Monday, it was an absolute washout yesterday. All I managed to do was a little bit of weeding in the greenhouse. Today it is windy, in fact it's really windy. Okay, but we decided to get out and finish moving all of the logs. Good news is, yesterday we finally moved all of the wood. Two main areas in the wood pile where we put it, here and here. And what we're going to do today is just move another log pile to build that area up where it's a bit short. And this is the log pile that I'm hoping to move. Seasoning wood. So this piece of wood that I'm holding at the moment is probably about an inch and a half in diameter. Now wood seasons about an inch per year depending on the wood. So this has been there now a year or two, so that would definitely be seasoned. Okay, and that's fine to burn. This next piece is possibly up to about 4 inches. Let's just say 3 for easy reckoning. Okay, so what happens in the first year? Okay, 1 inch seasons. And then in the second year, 2 inch seasons. If we call that 3 inches, the outside would season the first year, and then the middle bit would season the second year. And these are about 2-year-old logs, so that now should be fully seasoned. Now during the seasoning, the wood cracks. Okay, and here's a real good example. This is a piece of blackthorn, I think, that's cracked right down. Okay, and that's the drying process. So seasoning is the moisture in the wood dispersing, and then the wood becoming drier. Okay, and when the drier it becomes, the better it burns, and you don't get that thick tar then in your chimney. So definitely recommend all wood seasoned. They do say ash can be burnt green, but I would definitely recommend seasoning everything, to be quite honest. Warning. And a little word of warning, you guys have got wood burners. Okay, should have the chimney swept once per year. If not, you're risking chimney fires. So make sure you get those chimneys swept regularly. I've got some interest there after all the slugs and worms that are here in the soil I've uncovered. They'll be in shortly as soon as I move out the way. What a beautiful little ladybird. Morning. It's Thursday and I've just bought these little things. I'm not totally sure what they are, but you put them in the sun and then as it goes dark they light up. How? I haven't got a clue, but I'm going to test them and see what they're like. I'll let you know later on. Got them out in the sun now, hopefully charging them up. We'll have a look later, as I say. I have got an idea what we could use them for, but I want to see how well they work first of all. Now yesterday Claire moved all of the onions into the greenhouse to help them dry. So at the top there's the shallots. They've been in for a couple of weeks now. And there's all my onions. And as you can hear in the background, some motorbike doing mad things. And our first cucumber is coming along nicely. When the onions or shallots have dried out a little bit, this is what Claire does to them. She strings them up in a nice tight bundle like this. I don't know how she does it. If I can, I'll try and get Claire to show you in a future video how it's done. Might do it on a time-lapse thing. Just potting up some of the calabrese now. Trying to protect the root as much as we can. At the right level. And without handling the plant if you can as well. That just helps everything. and nicely potted up. Done. Now going to do the same with some lettuce, just pot them into pots so that they grow on. So I've got 8 in pots, 10 in plugs, and then the other ones I've tried to disturb as little as possible so they can carry on growing, and I'll pot them up at some stage too. In between the raised beds, okay, we just left it bare, okay, and bit by bit the grass has come back. Claire's put graze on, killed some of the weeds, hopefully most of them. Now all I'm going to do is just nip it off, just so it encourages it to grow even more. We'll have a look in a minute. Didn't quite finish this area yesterday, so I'm going to get back onto it now. Okay, you see some of the logs are stuck in the soil, far too solid in the ground to pull out by hand. So I'm going to get a fork and just loosen them up a little bit, and eventually I'll just level the area out a little bit, and then hopefully the grass will grow back very shortly. Now, some of the wood has pushed itself right down into the ground, and what the reason for that is, the weight of the wood on top has just pushed them into the soil, and now I've got to dig every single one out. So a bit more savvy now about how we do things, and I'll show you the way that we do it now, which works so much better. After having builders on site, there's always a lot of excess pallets, and now what we do is we put pallets on the ground, and that keeps the wood off the ground. What that does is let air go inside, so it seasons the wood better, okay, and we don't get damp logs on the bottom pushing themselves into the ground, rotting in the ground. Okay, much better. If ever you stack wood, get some old pallets, definitely the way forward. Lovely little berries growing on the tree. Now these are rowan. Okay, I always thought these were poisonous, but in actual fact you can use them for making jam. And we've got a number of trees in and around our garden with loads of rowan on. In previous videos you saw me making elderflower champagne. These now are forming into elderberries. Now I personally don't like elderberries at all, but a lot of people use them in wine making just to add into other ingredients. These will just fall on the floor or the birds will eat them. And that's done a pretty good job. Morning. It's Friday, and today, just for a change, the weather is absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to make the best of it today. Get outside and do those jobs. The post just arrived, and I've had a delivery of something that I used last year for the first time, and for me it worked really well. Mustard seeds, and this is one of the green manures. I don't know if anybody else uses green manure. I always find towards the end of the year there's not a lot to do with the raised beds, so I put some mustard on. It keeps the weeds down, and then what I do is when it's ready I just pull it out and compost it. You can even just leave it in the soil and just dig it in. Great stuff. I like mustard. I'll show you planting that very shortly. Day 58 in the Big Brother house. Yep, this old chestnut again today. So what we're going to do is trim the long grass there. Hopefully if there's any logs we'll find them before we get the mower in later. And what I'm doing, yep, some of the bigger logs that I found under the ground, I'm just going to split them up so we can burn them, and they're really dry actually. Okay, so that's what I'm doing today. I wonder what Claire's doing at the moment.
Hello, I'm Claire. I don't usually do videos or stuff like that, but I thought I'd try for Nigel because he said we need more videos, so I'm going to try and see my garden from my prospect. If you hear him sometimes talking and all you hear is the sound of birds screeching, it's not that we got a lot of swifts and stuff up here, but I'm going to show you, if I can show you it. I'm not very good with cameras, by the way. Up there, you see a little blue thing. And that little blue thing is a microphone. And that's because I'm trying to get swifts to come and live here. I've got so fewer places to live around here because everybody keeps converting barns and such like. So I'm trying to get them to come here. But I digress and should go on about gardening. Today I'm going to talk about roses. Lots of roses. I'm not a rose person. But when I came here, well, this was kind of like a green sort of messy shrub sort of thing. So what I've tried to do is fill it full of cottage type plants. But I have some roses that were here when I got here. This one was originally here. This one that doesn't look so happy is a pink one, and it was here. And I don't know if you can see, yes you can. This tiny little itty bitty thing was here as well. But the biggest, most loveliest rose that was here when we arrived 3.5 years ago is that one. And I like that, that's beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try, if I can do it right, and take a cutting of this rose. Now it's quite easily, because all you need to do is find a bit of a stalk. And that's my stalk there, if you can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. So I will cut it about, oh, I don't know, around about there. There's no flower head on it. And that I'm going to make some roses out of. So this is my rose pot. Pull it out to the sun so you can see it better. And it looks awful. But all I've done, I don't know if you can see, is stick bits of roses in. So like yesterday I stuck these in. And that's how I get my cuttings. So I will take this piece that I've cut, and then all I do is cut it just under the leaf. There. And again, oh, probably about there. And I take the little piece like that. I don't pull the leaves off them, because if the leaves aren't going to survive, they'll come off, and if they are, they'll be part of the root system. And then all I do is find the space in this old tub and stick them in. Just stick them in the ground. Now as you can see, the leaf's in there as well. And that's all I do. Now when I've done that, and they've been sat there for a while, let's say, oh, sometimes a year, sometimes 6 months. With this one, I did that this year. No idea what it's called. That's the one I did this year. These ones I did last year. And they were given to me by Liz, who gave me some yellow roses. So I took some cuttings off that. And they're growing quite well. And if I go across, I have some more pinks. Pink seems to be the colour. Don't know why. I did have a beautiful red one, but I gave that one away. And these ones I just stuck in the bottom of the Acer plant tray, just shoved them in, and they've all come. So if anybody wants any pink roses, I've got plenty. And that's my wee bit of my video. And my wee bit of garden. So, changing the subject from roses, I think last week, or was it this week, the plant was verbena, the purple-headed one. Well, these are all my little seedlings of verbena. I've got loads. Not just a few, but like loads. I've even got little babby ones. This is my kind of nursery bit that lives outside. They're all little cuttings I get, and I don't always know what they are, but if I see something I like, I nick a bit off of it and try and get it to grow. Strawberries, of course, are his, as per usual. One thing I have managed to do is Sweet William. I've got a few trays of Sweet William, and I actually gave a whole tray that hadn't even been pricked out. I gave them away because I got far too many. But my one disaster this year, and if I can see it, is my lavender. It is pathetic. A whole packet of seeds, and there was like loads, and that's all I've got to show for it. This was a duck that was given to me from next door. He has a name which I can't replace on here, but it's more about his prowess with the ladies. Bit camera shy. About time he did some work.
And thanks very much for that, Claire. I usually do more veg gardening. Claire normally does more flower gardening. And it's good to see some of the flowering stuff, especially what Claire's just done with the roses. It's excellent. And like I've said before, if you want to appear in any one of my videos, all you need to do is send a video in to me, send it by private message. It needs to be about 1 to 2 minutes long, and it needs to be in landscape, and it's 16:9 format, I believe, or something like that, which is high definition. And we'll splice that into one of my videos, and you could see yourself, okay, on the videos. And if you don't want to appear in the videos, just talk and have the camera pointing away from you, just like Claire did. Thank you. It's the new pond fountain. Temporary only. I'm finally finished. The reason why, more than anything, we've cleared that area, there's a massive tree stump. Now this is one of the original trees that Clive cut down many months ago, and now the stump is pretty much in the way of the solar panels. So what we've done is cleared the area, so our tree surgeon friend Nathan, who you can possibly hear in the background because he's a neighbour, we're going to get him and his crew in to stump grind that one out and that one out. Oh, what a shame. It was a beautiful day and now all of a sudden it looks like it could even rain. What's going on? Bad news as well. Unfortunately, that concludes this episode of Gardening 365. Keep inviting your friends to Facebook, and please have a look at our YouTube channel. There's loads of videos on there now. They're excellent. Okay, and I'd love you to watch some of them on YouTube. And please, when you go to YouTube, please subscribe. Just search for Gardening 365. You'll see the logos. You'll know it's us. Thanks for your time. Have a great time. Have a great weekend. Bye.